Welcome to the Smith+Nephew technique animation featuring the BIORAPTOR Knotless Suture Anchor for hip labral repair. The anchor design offers the surgeon complete control over the amount of suture tension placed across the labrum and a desired tissue shift, while eliminating knot tying and a knot stack in the joint. The product is composed of a knotless anchor securely fixated to an insertion device with a driver that runs the full length of the anchor. Components include a suture threading accessory, a retention suture to initially aid in anchor security, and an enhanced torque limiter device to properly lock the ultra-braid suture across the repair. The technique begins with passing a strand of ultra-braid suture through or around the labrum. The drill guide is then introduced, and a hole is drilled on the rim of the acetabulum. Both suture limbs are then passed through the threader loop and brought through the suture eyelet. The anchor is tapped in, and the retention suture is removed. The suture limbs are tightened and locked on the handle, and the torque limiter knob is turned 8 times to lock the suture into place. The torque limiter measures the travel distance of the inner plug, ensuring it is properly advanced inside the anchor and locking the suture. Now we will review the technique in detail in a patient. The procedure steps are shown through the mid-anterior portal. Although the procedure can be performed percutaneously, it is shown here being performed through a clear-track disposable cannula. The internal view shows a labral tear located at the 3 o'clock position, with the soft tissue and bone already prepped for repair. The first step is to pass the ultra-braid suture with our arthro-round suture passing device. This can also be performed with the more traditional arthro-pierce device if the surgeon prefers to go through the labrum. The suture is always passed at the location where the tear is to be repaired in order to allow for maximum tissue shift. Grasp the suture with the passing device and push it behind the labral tissue and into the joint space. Once the suture is in the joint, it is released by the arthro-round device. The arthro-round device is then moved to the opposite side of the labral tissue to retrieve the suture limb that is in the joint. Once the suture limb is retrieved, it can be moved out of the same portal as the original limb. Both suture limbs can then be clamped using a hemostat in order to prevent slippage. Using the appropriate drill guide, place the distal tip of the guide against the acetabular rim. While firmly holding the guide in place, insert the proper drill bit and drill the hole. The depth stop on the drill bit will bottom out on the proximal end of the guide when the proper hole depth is reached. Remove the drill bit and guide. Unclip the hemostat from the sutures. While holding the anchor handle, push the suture threader tab forward to release the suture threader loop. Thread both free ends of suture through the suture threading loop, remove the suture threader tab from the shaft of the device, and pull to feed the sutures through the anchor eyelet. Advance the loaded suture anchor into the operative cannula and toward the prepared hole. Orient the anchor such that the free limb sutures entering the anchor are facing the labrum. Do not tension the suture at this time. Place the tip of the anchor into the prepared hole and tap the inserter handle with a mallet until the laser mark is flush with the cortical bone. This places the suture anchor approximately 2 to 3 millimeters below the bone surface. Unhook both ends of the retention suture from the inserter handle and pull one end to remove the suture from the handle. Discard the retention suture. With slight downward pressure on the inserter handle, Manually pull the suture limbs, either individually or together, to tighten the suture across the labrum and lock them on the handle. Once tight, rotate the torque limiter on the end of the handle clockwise about 8 turns until several clicks are heard to lock the sutures into place. To finish, unhook the sutures from the handle and disengage the handle from the anchor by pulling straight back or tapping the distal end with a mallet. Discard the insertion device. Probe the labrum to verify the proper repair is obtained. Then cut the suture limbs to complete the first anchor repair. Repeat with additional anchors until the desired repair is obtained.